Welcome to Treasure Valley Podcast. I am Chuck. Today's episode is brought to you by LowerGentry Studios. Here at LowerGentry Studios, we create thought-provoking content with integrity, and we enjoy every aspect because we are hedonists. You can go to www.lowergentrystudios.com to check out all of our content, which includes this podcast, a web series entitled Canyon County, a feature film, We Speak, and another feature film, if you can find it, called Brown Truck. Thank you for joining us today. With us, we have our usual co-hosts, Elliot and Zoe.
Thank you for introducing me finally.
I figured after episode nearly 60, I'd get it down.
All right, sweet.
Thank you for your patience.
Okay.
And then we have a special guest. His name is, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Or should I introduce you? You have to be here for about 60 episodes before I start introducing you.
Great.
It takes him a while to get your name right.
My name is Chance Fuerstinger.
Oh.
That's how you say your last name?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, or, Fuerstinger might be the proper way to say it. I don't know.
I always say, Chance Fergustine
Ferguson.
something,
Yeah, I get
So
Ferguson a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or people just look at it and they're like, nah.
Solid choice.
So yeah, if anybody wants to know, it's Fuerstinger.
Gotcha.
And then look it up online so you can see how it's spelled and understand the confusion.
Oh, man.
Does anyone want to know why today is special?
I was just about to ask you that.
Okay, today was special because on November 12th, 1970, was the exploding whale incident in Florence, Oregon. That is when a bunch of amateurs that work for the Oregon Transportation Department, I think, decided to get rid of a whale carcass by blowing it up.
Oh.
And so one of the engineers estimated that they need 450 kilograms of dynamite to do the job. However, somebody on site who was an explosive expert said that they needed something closer to 3.8 kilograms.
Oh my gosh.
And they blew the whale up.
How much did they use?
They used the 450 kilograms.
Oh no.
And then they covered the beach. Somebody's car got crushed in whale blubber. Yeah. It was a lot. It was more than, what would that be? A factor of 100 of what they needed.
I mean, I guess how else do you get rid of a whale? Like, I get the instinct, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, what else are you going to do? You can't push it back into the ocean.
Well, they since changed their policy in Oregon to bury it underneath
Oh,
sand.
wait, that sounds smart. Okay,
Yeah.
that
That sounds better than blowing it up.
A bulldozer.
I honestly at first thought that 400 wasn't enough.
Well, I mean, 400 kilograms. What is that in pounds? I'm dumb with those
It's
conversions.
like
No,
two.
I don't
It's like
even know.
2.2. So it'd be like 1,000 pounds of dynamite.
What?
Yeah.
How much does
Yeah.
a whale weigh?
A lot.
But how much does it take to blow up a person? So you need like.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Let's get the
So I
ratio.
weigh like 180. So you need like 180 pounds of dynamite, right?
To make you disappear.
Yeah, like completely. Yeah, it makes sure parts of my body get like covered on other people's cars and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what are we here to talk about today?
We should talk about the worst films of the decade.
Oh man, here comes a jingle. I'm excited for this one.
It's not so bad it's good. It's just so bad it's bad. These are the worst films this thinking has ever had.
So Chance is a local film connoisseur.
Yeah,
I would say.
also a writer and director, right? Or did
Yeah.
you direct the short film that you
I
just
did.
shot?
I did. I co-directed it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Wrote, directed, starred, and produced,
What's the name of that?
Here is where the monsters live.
When is that going to be coming out?
I'm
I'm
not
giving you.
sure,
I'm setting you up
right?
for the
Yeah.
plug, just real fast.
Thanks.
Before I forget.
I'm hoping like fall 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. We're in post-production right now, so
Cool.
yeah.
Sweet. How long is it?
It's about 18 minutes without credits, so 19.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You happy how the shoot turned out?
Yeah, it turned out great. I watched the rough cut of it, and I was like sobbing by the end of the movie.
Oh, good.
yeah. I was really happy with how it turned out.
Oh, so sobbing.
Oh yes, sobbing in a good way, not oh my god, this is terrible. No, yeah, it was sobbing in a good way. Yeah,
Bradley's been in both boats.
Oh, no.
Yeah, rough cuts.
Fetal position.
So much work to do still.
For sure.
How much of this can I fix in post?
Yeah. Not
No,
enough.
No. Never enough. Never enough. All right. Well, you love film. You're always
Yeah.
going to movies and stuff. You go to way more movies than we do.
Yeah.
And I've seen you on social media. I think you frequently watch everything that's up for Oscars.
I do, yes. And last year I tried to broaden that and go to as many movies like outside of what I would normally go to, because normally I go to like the big blockbusters, and then like the Oscar films, and like a couple here and there. But I tried to watch I think I watched like 126 movies last year.
Oh
Whoa.
my gosh.
I'm up to 100, I think, this year.
Of like new movies.
Yeah,
Like
movies that
2019
just came out this
2019
year.
movies.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you seen Maleficent yet?
I have, yes.
I haven't because Bradley Elliot has not seen the first one and he refuses to see the sequel.
Actually, I said that I would go, and then I got you a little drunk, and then I convinced you not to.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I was just like, let me just get you one more drink, and then get you really tired right
Do you
before
want to
we're
go to
about
Maleficent? No, I'm tired.
I just wanted to
Just
sleep.
want to sleep. I actually really liked the second one a lot more than the first one.
Oh, I'm so delighted to hear
Yeah,
that. Wonderful. So she didn't make the list. Good to hear.
Yeah, she did not make the list. She was
All
All right,
not
cool.
on here.
So so you're gonna be basically going through a bunch of movies that you hated that have come out since 2010.
Yes.
This podcast will serve as a warning to people.
Exactly.
People need to avoid certain things.
Just don't watch them.
And some of these are going to be a little bit provocative, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
I tried
In nature.
purposely to go provocative.
I
just found the most popular stuff, just as like the mid 2000s hipster that I am with my stupid glasses, and I'm just like, if too many people like this, then I hate it. That's what I did.
Ooh.
I was listening to
Yeah.
a record on old
Reactionary.
vinyl at the time.
You're like, this is no good.
Exactly. I was listening to the Kinks because the Kinks are better than the Beatles or whatever. I don't know. Sorry.
So we come up. We're here. Chance was like, we should do the worst films of the decade, and then we each come up with the Lower Gentry crew each comes up with 5, and then Chance comes with 20 films that he needs to warn us about. So this guy has done some serious research.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's detailed notes. I was looking
I
at
do have
this.
detailed notes.
And you
Alright.
broke them up into 2 different categories.
I did. I broke them up into 2 different categories. There's popcorn films, so like, the big like blockbuster films, and then there's the Oscar bait films, which are the, Oscar bait films. Because I tried to narrow it down because I was like, I feel like the movies that I love, it's really hard to pick a top 10. But I was like, the movies that I hated, those are really easy. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I hated a lot of films. So then I was like, let's break it up into categories, and that'll be easier, I think. So, because I feel like, it's not fair to, put like, to compare, a schlocky action movie to, I don't know, a Best Picture winner, right? Because they're different. Their audience is different. So
Yeah.
Totally.
and I watch like a lot of different genres. So
Well, give us an example of one of each.
one of each. Okay.
Yeah.
So my number 10 on each. Number 10 for popcorn films is The Circle.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it came
Is
out.
that the social networking one about like the fake social network site?
Yeah, with Emma Watson and Tom Hanks.
I saw a trailer and I said, I bet that's bad. And
Yeah,
never
I
did.
was like, I don't know. I was intrigued. I was like, oh, it's got a kind of an interesting concept. And then it was like the most boring like hour and a half of my life. I feel like they forgot that they were trying to tell a story. And like nothing happened, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we gotta make something happen. So let's have Emma Watson take a kayak into the ocean and almost drown, and then that's gonna like encourage her to get on our side, and then she's gonna like encourage everybody to have these cameras watching them at all times." And it's just.
Oof.
And then things go awry, and she like tries to track down one of her friends, and then he dies because he's trying to escape the cameras, and then she's like, "No, this is bad." And then that's like the end of the movie. I was
What?
like, what? What did I just? This is terrible.
Dang.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I was
Oh,
up
yeah.
to it until you told me the ending.
Spoiler
Now I
alert,
feel like
sorry.
there's no need for me to watch
But also,
it.
please don't watch this movie. It was so boring. Save
All right.
yourself.
All right, Oscar bait.
Oscar bait. Funny that you should mention social networking, because my number 10 for Oscar bait is The Social Network.
Ooh, wow, you really
Yeah.
didn't like that movie
I
that
did
much?
not like that. I didn't like. I thought it was fine when I watched it, and then it got all these Oscar nominations, and I was like, I felt like it was just them pandering to a younger audience.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't a Best Picture worthy film. Like, Jesse Eisenberg was okay in it, and I mean, I feel like the Hummingbird Project, which came out this year, and I've seen, you should watch because he's really, really good in that.
Now, was this one, The Social Network, this was the one about
The
Facebook
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah,
story?
about Mark
Yeah.
Zuckerberg.
That was a really slow, boring movie.
It was so slow. I was just like, I mean, okay, I can see why people like it, but it's not. To me, it just wasn't like an Oscar worthy. It was just like, young people like this movie. Let's nominate it for a bunch of Oscars.
When did that come out?
That was like
20
right. That
it
was
was-
right.
yeah.
2010.
Oh,
And-
okay.
and
I
it
did
was-
see that one, and it's gone from my
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was the first year that the Oscars went back to the 10 Best Picture nominees. because they did that like way back in the 40s, and then they brought it back, and so I feel like that was part of the like this isn't a movie that would typically be nominated, so let's go ahead and nominate it. Now that we're back to 10. Yeah.
And we got to throw some other junk in there.
Yeah.
Who's going to give us the most
right.
money?
Yeah.
So I have a nomination here that I want to throw out because I just realized that it's actually like probably 7 or 8 films.
What?
Oh.
Sharknado. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Sharknado.
So that's not really even a popcorn film or an Oscar bait.
I don't know what
that.
I don't know what that falls underneath.
That's just
a cult
C-list.
classic.
No, just like C-list.
I don't think. I think it's more like E-list.
Yeah.
I think it's the modern day equivalent of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was so bad, and you could tell when they ran out of funding because people were sitting in a car that I think people were shaking the car on the outside, and then they were describing events that was happening through the window, but you couldn't see any of the stuff that was happening.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
Oh my gosh, that shark is getting pulled up into the tornado. And then it would do a quick cut for like however much CGI they could afford, and then other complicated things were happening off screen while everybody was sitting in the car just explaining the situation.
I have seen all of the Sharknado movies.
Oh, nice.
Sharknado did not make my list because I feel like it never tried to be anything that it wasn't. That like it's supposed to be just this terrible, awful, just the worst thing ever, and I found it really enjoyable.
Well, see, those are the kind
I
of
love
movies that
those movies.
sometimes when I think about like the worst movies ever, that's what I think about.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
movies
it is
that
awful,
that is
but-
awful but I laugh at it all the time. Just like Thanksgiving, that was a hilarious one.
Yeah.
Or Trolls, but like Sharknado, it falls along that vein. I mean, it's
Alright,
that
so-
one needs to be watched though. You
Right.
gotta
Yeah,
watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch Sharknado.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. I
Zoe,
love
do you
it.
have one you want to share?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so we actually, Elliot and I have a hobby where we get drunk and then we watch every Nicolas Cage movie ever made. And so the one that made the list, because there's a lot of them out there, it's called Between Worlds. It came out in 2018. Joe, played by Nicolas Cage, meets a mother who can contact spirits when suffocating. Her daughter is dying when Joe helps the mother spiritually contact the daughter by choking her and save her. Unfortunately, the spirit in the daughter's body is now that of Joe's dead wife.
That's on the official press.
This
kits.
was IMDb. Copy and pasted. It was the best, worst movie I have ever seen, and I think everyone should watch that one.
It's on
yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, it's a
It's
good
on
one.
Netflix. Just give it a run.
There's nothing like the scene where he's like choking the mom, and then all of a sudden, like the spirit of his ex-wife goes into the daughter, and then he goes and has sex with the daughter of the woman that he's choking.
After he already had sex with her
yeah,
too.
Yeah,
Oh God, no!
Lots of.
it's really
Lots of-
it's under the erotic thriller section of
I'm
Netflix.
sure it is.
Yeah, you have lots of like 60-year-old Nick Cage with his just like
Beer belly.
beer
and
belly, just like shirtless, like banging women that are way out of his league.
like tens, just straight up tens. It's like, okay,
Wow.
Nick Cage.
Yeah,
Do you have any Nick Cages, Elliot?
I do have a good Nick Cage one.
Oh, good, because I have a Nick Cage too.
That's actually my number 5. Should we just share a Nick Cage?
Yeah,
Just get
what-
the Nick Cage. That
Do you
should be a
have any-
separate
honestly,
character.
I honestly don't think I have any Nick Cage movies on here.
I feel like he needs to have a separate category.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He needs his own genre of movie at this juncture.
Yeah.
Like
I
there's
feel
like
like he has
drama,
it.
adventure, sci-fi, Nick Cage,
See, I wanted to pick
comedy.
I wanted to pick one Nick Cage movie, but I've seen so many bad Nick Cage movies in the last couple of years. But I wanted to pick the one that I enjoyed the least because I felt like the other ones were like too fun. You know?
Oh,
So I
yeah.
chose Left Behind. Have you seen that one?
No, I avoided that
have I
like the
seen that
plague.
Yeah, it's the one me and Chuck watched it when we were drinking one night, and it was it's the one that's the evangelical Christian movie.
Yeah.
And it was even so low budget that they couldn't afford Nick Cage for like maybe more than a day. So he's always just like sitting in the same room that's like obviously just a room, and then they just have this cheap like thing because he's supposed to be a
Oh,
pilot.
right, yeah.
And he's just like, oh my god! So the whole premise of the movie is that half of the people have disappeared because it's the
On an airplane.
Yeah, because it's the apocalypse and it's on the airplane, and then he's there because he was having an affair, and then he's trying to land the plane. And then there's I don't remember a lot of it. It was just so bad.
Well, thank God that he had an affair. Otherwise, all those people on the plane would have died.
That's true.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
but
he's
what-
Thank
saved
you,
him.
Nick Cage. Always the
Ironically.
hero. Even when he's the villain, he's always the hero. That's what I love about Nick Cage.
So on my list, I have Trespass. which I think was the beginning of the end for him because Nicole Kidman was in it.
Oh,
Have you seen that one,
no,
Chance?
I haven't.
Oh,
my
man.
mom really liked it. And
It
I was
was-
like, she was like, you should watch it. I was like, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, he was trying to save his family from hostage takers by overacting. I think that was the.
Yeah.
I think that was the premise of the
He
story.
acted the shit out of that
Was
movie.
he an
Yeah.
actor?
Yeah.
That he just needed to in order to save them. They were like, you need to do a really bad production of no.
It was what it felt like, but I don't know.
Give me a streetcar named Desire right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was that level the entire time.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I watched that one too. He pitched himself like right there, and he just kept on ramping it up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're like
He
this.
committed.
This
I
couldn't
respect
get
that.
any more
He
intense.
started at a 10 and ended at
it's
an 80.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a scene at the beginning of him
Been
just
there.
like eating cereal in the morning before like the people come and try to kidnap him, and he's already just like, "Wah!"
Oh man.
And then from there it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger.
I just wonder, like, when if he rewatches his films, if sometimes he's just like, dang,
I am
shouldn't
so
have
awesome.
done that. Oh yeah, I heard that. I guess.
I am the best.
I mean, that's me, so relatable.
Nick Cage, if you're tuning in, please continue to tune in. We're saying all this in jest.
We
And
love you.
send us some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send us-
Sponsor.
Sponsor.
We're plugging all of your movies. We're crying out
I know we're
loud.
talking
Sponsor
about
us.
bad movies, but a good Nicolas Cage
Yes.
movie that came out last year was Mandy.
Oh, I didn't see that
we-
one.
That
Yeah.
was some that was a trip.
Oh man, I was expecting it to be bad.
Oh my god, I loved it. I was also expecting it to be bad,
Hmm.
and then I watched it, and because one of my friends told me about it, and he is a diehard Nicolas Cage fan, and I was like, all right, well, I'm trying to watch everything, so here we go, and I was like, this is actually really good.
All right.
It's on the list.
Mandy.
Huh.
Yeah, we were gonna rent that one night. and
Well,
I
we were
didn't.
gonna watch it all together, and then that never
And
happened.
then that didn't happen.
Yeah, for
Someone
sure.
tried to get out of it by buying someone drinks or something. Is
Yeah,
that-
exactly.
Classic.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
Typical.
Chance, give us a couple.
All right.
Yeah.
We got way more. We already gave away. We each gave away one of ours. So
All right.
you have to
I'm
like,
at 2 already.
So you have to kind of.
I gotta
you gotta
go.
purge.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9 on popcorn films is Crimson Peak.
Ooh, I didn't like that either, but I don't know if I
Yeah.
would name that like the worst. But yeah.
Well, because here's why. Because I was really expecting to love it because I love Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
And I also really like Mia Wasikowska and Jessica Chastain and Tom Hiddleston. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be really... But then it was just, because it was marketed as a horror movie, but it was more of a romance movie, which is fine, but don't market your movie as a horror movie if that's not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Del Toro is like a master of practical effects. And they had layered bad CGI over the
Yeah.
practical
And then
effects.
all the ghosts looked exactly the same as the devil's
I was
background.
like, I couldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like all red, and I was like, I can't. You're like, I don't know what you are now, but okay. Yeah, that's why I didn't like Crimson Peak. Number 9 on Oscar bait is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, man. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I don't know how you love that movie, but you don't like that guy's Romeo and Juliet. Because he did way better on Romeo and Juliet.
What are you talking? It's Martin Scorsese. He's the OG. Like it's Martin Scorsese. Anyway.
Oh, just
Anyway,
kidding.
Don't compare.
Confused.
Don't compare Baz Luhrmann to Martin Scorsese.
No, I
Jesus.
thought it was the same director. My bad.
Okay.
I'm done. It's fine.
I hated Wolf of Wall Street because it was 3 hours of Leo screaming so that he could try to get an Oscar.
Oh.
That was why.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 8 on popcorn films is Solo, a Star Wars story.
Never saw it.
Oh.
I've been avoiding Star Wars kind of like the plague. Though.
Yeah.
I forgot about
I'm
all
a-
the bad Star Wars movies.
Die-hard Star Wars fan, and I was not sold on the idea of Solo to start. I was just kind of like, whatever. And then I watched the first trailer. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this would be good. And then I was so bored through the first half of the movie that they showed a villain halfway through the movie, and I was like, what, they're just going to throw a villain at us? And then I realized that they were in a previous scene. I had forgotten immediately while watching it that they were already in the movie. Yeah, I was bored.
It's like, why are they playing this music?
Yeah,
What am I
yeah.
supposed to?
I was so bored until Donald Glover and Phoebe Waller-Bridge showed up, and then it was
I need a
okay, this
narrator
is
to fill
mildly
me in
enjoyable.
every 30
Yeah.
seconds.
It was just like, oh. Okay, and then number 8 on Oscar bait is The Revenant, because that was 3 hours of Leonardo DiCaprio screaming and eating a raw bison liver to actually win an Oscar.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
forgot. I
didn't
forgot
like
about
that one either.
And especially because I know you didn't like Birdman.
I hated Birdman.
I loved Birdman.
I
so
loved
I was like,
Birdman.
oh, this is his follow up to Alejandro Iñárritu's follow up to Birdman. I love Birdman.
Me too.
And then so that
I like The
was just
Revenant
like,
more than Birdman. I'm one of those guys.
Wow.
But I really didn't like The Revenant. I really disliked Birdman for some reason. That just really rubbed me the wrong way. Actually, I don't know why this isn't. I need to redo my list. I forgot about
You're
Birdman.
like Birdman,
Pencil
right?
Revenant though, that was a good. Oh God, that was so bad.
Yeah. Well, no, I really like the. Wasn't there one cool scene with the? Wasn't there a cool scene at the beginning? I
Yeah,
remember
it
thinking
started
there's a
off
cool.
well.
There's a cool scene at the beginning, like maybe
There-
like a
like-
battle scene or something.
Oh yeah, the battle scene was really really cool. Like the way they shot that was really like awesome. And like I mean, the cinematography in it I think is great. It's like, all right, can somebody just give Leo an Oscar already so that we don't have to watch another performance like this? And they did, and we haven't seen him since.
This
Ooh.
is true.
Perfect.
He got what he wanted, one way or another.
Yeah.
All right, popcorn movies.
All right, popcorn movies number 7, Suicide Squad.
Never. I've avoided that one
Hell
too.
no, I will not watch that.
Yeah.
I saw
Like-
it.
You saw it?
I saw it. It was really bad.
I liked
terrible.
the soundtrack, and I frequently listen to it because I'm a garbage person, and I know this about myself. But I will not watch the movie. Like
Yeah.
I know it's bad from the soundtrack,
Yeah.
which
I
I,
mean,
love.
Where do you land on the Jared Leto Joker then? I've never seen the Jared Leto Joker, so
Garbage.
I did not like it, but I also feel like he was not given enough screen time to really make anything with the character.
Plus, the script was absolute garbage.
The script was a dumpster fire. Like, Margot Robbie, I think, was the only saving grace about that film.
She was Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah, she was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but
She was-
but it was just like
it was
impossible to
just-
work your way through
Yeah,
that. Like if
yeah.
it doesn't an actor, like I don't know who writes this stuff. They they probably don't even write it.
Right.
It must just it
Just
feels like just like an outline.
auto-generator.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just like, yeah.
you just like plug in whatever's popular. It's like, okay, well, women. Oh, women that are really attractive.
Right, yeah.
Joker.
Yeah.
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 Just throw it in.
Well, and then they were like doing exposition like 45 minutes into the movie. I was like, oh my god, just get to the shit, like please,
Move along.
love of God,
Do something.
get to the action
someone.
already. And then
Yeah.
they did, and then it was really bad CGI, and I was like, okay.
Oh dear
Yeah.
God.
All right.
I'm glad
Don't
I
watch it.
avoided that one.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see that movie.
Yeah, I'm never gonna see it either.
Number 7 for my Oscar bait is Boyhood.
Oh, damn.
What?
Wow.
I know you guys are huge Richard Linklater
Yeah,
fans.
we are.
I know.
I haven't actually seen that one yet. It's been on my list, but it's so long.
Have I seen it?
No, you haven't seen it. I was kind of lukewarm on Boyhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because it's kind of like before series, but it's not as artful.
That's what you said. Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, like, I liked the concept. I liked that it was that he took like 20 years to make it. I thought that was a really cool concept, but I was just like, there's like this. I felt like it was a day in the life story, and I feel like those should be short films, not a 3-hour film.
Well,
You
actually, it's
should
kind of like a
keep-
day in the life story that
Yeah,
well, actually, it was like 12 or it was like
Yeah.
12 day in the
Like-
life stories.
yeah.
That just kind of
yeah. That
put
made
together.
a 3-hour movie, and I was like, just do a short.
Sure.
Like,
Well, he did, well, his
it-
before series came together well, but I didn't necessarily jam too much on that animated one that he had where everybody was just talking about.
Oh, I love the animated one. I'm a big Richard
Well,
Linklater
when
fan.
you
to
think
be
about
honest.
it, the before,
I like all of them.
the before trilogy was kind of like a day in the. Oh, it was a day in the life.
Yeah, but each one is a half an hour, and then or an hour and a half, and then each one has kind of a dramatic center to it.
Yeah.
Like you're always
Right.
wondering, like, okay, well, are they going to break up or are they not going to
Yeah.
break up? There's like a kind of traditional story arc like buried underneath where Boyhood doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
In the early going, I guess you're kind of like, oh wow, the mother's getting beaten up by the dude, and then
Yeah.
that kind of just dissipates over
Yeah.
time. So
And it's like I feel like it's just so much like life. It's like I don't want to watch my life, right? Like for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like I just want to, make it a 20-minute movie that I can, be like, "Oh yeah, that I understand that." But, 3 hours is just
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, you still have to purge a couple more.
I
so
gotta
we
put,
can
okay.
get,
Let's keep
all
going.
right,
Keep
all right,
it going.
all right.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're going to hit on some of ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Number 6 for popcorn films is Venom.
Oh, never
Oh,
saw it.
I forgot about Venom.
Oh,
Venom
you-
was so bad. I forgot about Venom. Venom was like funny bad though, kind of, because it was just so ridiculous.
I don't
It
remember
made me
most of
laugh
it.
because I didn't know if it was a comedy or like an action movie
Yeah.
or if it was supposed to be sad. It was just so all over the map that tonally it had none. There was no
and
tone.
Yeah.
it was
It was awesome.
initially intended to be an R-rated horror movie, and then to prove it for a wider audience, they cut out the R-rated stuff so that it was PG-13, and then they were like, we're not gonna go with a horror movie route. So I was like, and plus I think this just as a little like in Venom's defense, the movie theater that I watched it in, the audio was so screwed up, like the score and the sound effects were super super loud, and the dialogue was really really quiet, and I could barely hear it. So I was just like, I just couldn't enjoy it.
It was bad without. I had good audio.
Yeah.
Didn't make a difference.
I could hear all the words. It didn't help.
Yeah.
Didn't help. It was
Might
still
have
bad.
made it worse.
And which is unfortunate because I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy was really good in that
he
one
was-
in the car.
Yeah.
That was an amazing movie. Where that just took place in the car? What's that one called?
I have no idea.
Anyone?
I can't remember.
It was a
Yeah,
movie
it's
that he was just
Locke.
in the car. Locke. Yes.
It's just a one movie. It's just a one-man movie. Just him in the car, just on the phone talking to people.
Yeah, and he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Nice.
That one's short too. That one's like an hour long.
Mhm.
That's a good length. You got a point
Yeah.
about
See?
the 3 hour
right?
movies. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do a 3-hour movie, it
There's
better
gotta be
be
a lot of
Lord of the
stuff,
freaking
right?
Rings.
There's gotta be
I was gonna
stuff
say there better be
happening.
orcs
You
battling.
hate,
Yeah.
you hate Lord of the Rings.
I respect it though. It might not be my cup of tea, but I respect what
I
they do.
hate orcs.
I hate orcs.
There just would have been one orc scene in Boyhood. It would have saved it.
I would have been there.
Linklater, I hope you're taking notes.
And you do Boyhood too.
This is an expert panel.
Number 6 on my Oscar bait films is Nebraska.
Ooh, the downfall of Alexander Payne. Yeah. Yeah. He fell off a cliff.
Oh god, yeah, that was just like I felt like it wanted to be this low-key, understated like family drama, but then all of the performances were just so over the top.
Yeah.
It was just like,
And it was really condescending.
Yeah.
I'm from South Dakota, not far from where
yeah.
that was filmed.
yeah.
So it was kind of condescending. It was kind of like some of the scenes had that kind of Fargo vibe where you're just
Oh.
like, anybody in a small town must be just totally stupid.
Yeah.
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 Like nobody's intelligent
That's
living
what
out here. Yeah.
most people in LA think. That's what my honest.
But
belief
Alexander
is.
Payne's from Nebraska though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's the guy that made About Schmidt and what was the really good one? About Schmidt, remember the Jack Nicholson one where he's the Omaha guy? Nobody knows? About Schmidt?
I do. It's
Oh,
been
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been years since
I
I've
forgot.
watched
Yeah,
it,
that was a
but-
good
That
one.
was a big deal when I was in high school because
Yeah.
I was in Yankton, South Dakota. I'm like, wow, this is like streets that I recognize, and
yeah.
like Jack Nicholson
Yeah.
was hanging out there. But no, and then what was the other one? With Matthew
Son-in-law.
Broderick. And,
Son-in-Law was filmed in South Dakota
Yeah, I know, but
with Pauly Shore.
no, he didn't direct that one.
That was a pretty good.
It's
good
gonna drive me
representation.
insane.
of the West.
Election with Reese Witherspoon and.
I
and
have actually
Oh
never seen
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that
I
one's
for-
great.
That was a good
Anyway,
one.
so he made like these 4 great movies, like ending with Sideways, and then he just like totally fell off a
Yeah.
cliff.
Oh,
he made
yeah.
that dumb one in Hawaii with George
Oh, the
Clooney.
Descendants.
Yeah, and then he made
Mm.
Nebraska, and he made like some where Matt Damon becomes like a little person, and he like exists.
Oh,
and-
see, I really like Downsizing.
oh, did you see? I didn't watch it after Nebraska. I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna-
like,
I'm
that's
just-
it. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
I think generally everybody hated Downsizing, but I really loved it.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know. I just-
Okay, well, I'll watch
just
it.
spoke to me.
Is it kind of like
As
Honey,
somebody
I
that-
Shrunk This Kids, or
As somebody that's always wanted to be really tiny.
As somebody who's just wanted to be, like this big.
since Rick Moranis died, I can't watch those types of films. It makes me too.
Rick
sick.
Moranis died?
No, he's never dead. He's not dead.
He's
What?
never dead, guys.
He's never dead.
No, I
Don't
thought he was
worry,
dead.
He figured it out.
No, he just retired.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought he was one of those people that died.
I was about to have a moment.
Is he one of those people that everybody thinks is dead, but he's not?
Well, I mean, obviously one person at least thinks it's dead.
1 out of 4 people think
Yeah.
Rick Moranis is dead.
We did a
25%.
very specific poll. All right, you got to purge one more.
Oh,
each.
one more.
One more
Oh,
each.
one more each. Okay. Number 5 on my popcorn films. This might come as a surprise to everybody watching because I'm such a big Harry Potter fan. Is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Mm.
I refuse to watch that because I am a diehard Harry Potter fan. And when I heard about the concept, I'm like, I don't want to know if it's good
Yeah.
or not.
See,
Nope. Pass.
I really liked the first one, the first Fantastic Beasts, and I have been like a diehard, like whenever people always criticize J.K. Rowling for like adding new like content to this world that she's created and stuff, people like criticize her. I'm like, well, it's her world. She's just adding to it. It's just we're getting more information. And it's like I love the new information, but Crimes of Grindelwald felt like a slap in the face because she contradicted so much of the canon that she had already established with the Wizarding World that it was just like,
No, see, and that's why I am one of the people that criticizes her for doing this spinoff. Like, I get it, money and creativity, and it's a beautiful world, but like, no, leave them alone. Get back away from.
Sorry, it's so funny. You just said, and it's a beautiful world.
beautiful world.
I'm very passionate about Harry Potter. I grew up on that.
Yeah.
Really?
That got me.
I read the first book. I watched the first movie when it came out.
I think I watched.
He's a wizard, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I like the silly hat.
What hat? Oh, okay. Sorting hat. Okay.
He was like, he doesn't wear a
I'm
hat.
like, you don't even know Harry. Don't talk to me like this.
Oh man. Purge one more.
One more. Okay. Number 5 on my Oscar bait films, which it didn't get nominated for an Oscar, but Happy as Lazaro.
I've never even heard
It's
of that.
an Italian movie that came out last year. And again, it's about 3 hours long. And the main character he's a passive protagonist. And then he just, at one point, like halfway through the movie, he just like disappears. And we don't see him again until the very, very end.
What?
He comes back in and like goes into a bank and gets shot. And I was like, what did I just, he like time traveled or something? I don't even know. It was just... It was bad.
Sounds dissatisfying.
It's very highly rated, and I don't understand why.
Happy as the sorrow. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Get my pretension cred up.
Yeah, man, you totally dropped the ball not knowing what's going on there.
I know.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to turn in those director's glasses. If you're only listening to this podcast, Elliot has on director's glasses.
I'm always wearing that. They're just my glasses. This is just my face. I can't change my face.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right,
I'm
do you want
going
to go on, Zoe?
Yeah, I'm going to do my number, whatever number it is. And I'm actually going to steal Chance's number 4 of his popcorn films because I have been secretly looking at the sheet he has in front of him. We both agree that Sucker Punch from 2011 is a garbage film. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, it is just a holy hot mess.
Yeah.
So basically, a young girl is institutionalized by her abusive stepfather, retreating into an alternate reality as a coping strategy, envisioning a plan to help her escape, is the tagline from IMDb. But basically, it's just a bunch of really attractive young women and really crappy CGI and not a lot else. I mean...
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And like all of the action is their imaginations.
Right.
So
you
there's
clearly need explosions in that equation to make the movie viable.
Right. Yeah.
Like none
Hot
of
women
it actually...
CGI and
like,
explosions.
Wait, that's the guy that did The Watchmen and 300 and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
Zack
Was it all that
Snyder,
really?
yeah.
Was that really annoying action too, where everything's just like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
just every 2 seconds? It's like,
I mean...
I wish it were the Matrix. You know.
And it was just a sad...
And yeah.
Terrible
And a fun
film.
little, well, I don't think it's fun, but a little insight into it. He made the film to be a commentary on nerd culture and the way that nerd culture treats or how they objectify women.
And he did that by dressing up the hottest
He did
chick
that by
in the skit.
objectifying women.
Solid.
And then
Solid.
spoilers, at the end, they're all lobotomized.
They are all... It's...
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest did it.
already been done, and
It's just
it's
like I want to make
awful.
something. I want to make something really, really salient for culture. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was good. Lobotomy's great.
What if there was action? What if he was imagining that he was beating up a giant robot with a samurai sword, and there were explosions?
Sweet.
Do not watch list.
You want to go? You want to go, Chuck?
I can. So I have one Marvel movie on here, even though I'm not a big Marvel fan.
All right, be careful.
But so Spider-Man was rebooted somewhere.
That one's actually technically not Marvel, isn't it? Like the Sony one.
So one of mine is The Amazing Spider-Man, which was the middle boot to this recent Spider-Man reboot.
Yeah.
Because it was basically Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man again.
Yeah, but then they
had the lizard or something like that.
Yeah.
The lizard guy.
Yeah, I remember we were watching it and we were like, why is this the same movie except they just somehow made it worse? Like they just need to make like a worse version of this movie that came out 6 years ago.
And then they did a sequel and then they just canceled it.
Yeah.
They just got rid of that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I know.
Yeah.
But thank God for the disaster that was The Amazing Spider-Man, because then we wouldn't have the amazing Spider-Man that is Tom Holland. So I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
No, you
Glass
guys aren't
half
Marvel
full
fans,
there.
but
No, yeah, we're not.
All right. Wait a minute. My number 4 is going to be the remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Michael Bay one with the really horrible CGI. I was very upset because I really loved the original Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, and I just really wanted to see people in those stupid suits battle each other. I was like really happy.
you didn't want to see real CGI turtles?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
they
Foam
were
rubber.
scary.
Where's the foam rubber turtles?
Oh, I know. I remember watching the trailer. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I watched the trailer. I'm like, I'm afraid that's gonna haunt me. No, thank you.
I was really, and then the scariest thing was Megan Fox. That was like, she's like the scariest looking person in the history of the world. Like,
What? I thought
like
she
it
was really hot.
what?
What happened?
Is she? Am I like out of tune with?
We have very different taste in women.
Okay, obviously. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I remember thinking like, okay, like, I guess because I remember there was a big CGI thing at the beginning, and then I remember thinking like, well, I guess there's like supposed to be this hot woman in it, so I guess I can look at the hot woman while I'm stuck in this theater for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Actually, and then it ended up being
Did
like
you walk out?
it was 2.5 hours long.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, it was 2.5 hours.
That's a
long.
lot of
It was something
pizza.
ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
Cowabunga. Yeah, or whatever he says. But anyway, it was it was awful.
Did
but
they
anyway,
have-
she was definitely terrifying looking. I remember thinking that.
Did
Like,
they have
she
that
looks
song
terrifying.
from the original one? Tequila. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, that's what made that whole movie.
What are you
Tequila?
talking about? No, there was the Vanilla Ice song.
Yeah, the Vanilla Ice song.
No, in the
Tequila
original?
no, that was Pee Wee Herman did that one.
No, in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, probably from the 80s or 90s, in my brain, I have no evidence to back this up. They play that song when they're eating pizza in the sewer.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, and then he throws the pizza
so
up in the air, and Leonardo slices it all up.
Oh, in
and
the
then
air.
Splinter
Cute.
gets a slice of pizza on his head, and then they all laugh because the pizza was supposed to land on his plate.
This is all burned into our memories.
Okay, you got a
apparently.
point.
That was
I
a
was-
good part.
That
Yeah,
was
it was-
my favorite part of
No,
that
but Vanilla
movie.
Ice came in the sequel, and he did a whole rap
Oh,
part.
Yeah,
garbage.
for Turtles
Revenge
2.
of the Ooze.
Yeah.
What did you call Revenge of the Ooze? Garbage.
That was the introduction of Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Goodness
I may be
gracious.
speaking out of turn here.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually don't know what you're referencing.
Yeah.
I just heard
That like came out
Vanilla
a year
Ice.
before you were born.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us a couple more.
Give me a couple more. Yeah.
All right. So Zoe already covered my number 4 for popcorn. So number
Oh.
4 for Oscar bait, The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
We were gonna watch that the other night.
Yep.
And then you said no, that looks kind of pretentious. And I
But
said,
like
okay.
not good pretentious. Like, am
Yeah.
I off point here?
No, you're not. You're right on point.
Thank you.
There's a line where they're sitting at the table, they're having dinner, and the son says something about if they have nice hair or something, and the mom's like, "Of course you have nice hair, sweetie. We all have nice hair." And then later in the film, when Colin Farrell is at like a work party or something, he's talking to one of his coworkers, and he's like, "My daughter just got her first period."
Oh, nope. What?
Like,
That's-
okay,
Hmm.
okay,
That's uncomfortable.
yeah. So
That's not how people talk.
no, yeah, that's what I wrote. Who talks like this?
Oh, okay.
What reality are we in now?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
That's awesome.
All right. You ready?
Me?
Yeah.
I would love to share.
I feel like I'm keeping it moving.
You are. Thank
You know?
you.
I feel like I'm being a taskmaster.
Okay,
Like I'm facilitating this meeting.
Thank you. This one, I literally couldn't even finish. It was so bad. I straight up was like, nope, I am not subjecting myself to this. It's Winona, I can never say her name. Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, Destination Wedding, 2018. It's these two people, they go to a wedding and they hate each other and they hate the wedding and they hate the bride and groom, and it's so miserably acidic without purpose. I was just like,
It's just these
after
these
40
single,
minutes of it,
Yeah, we were watching it together.
40 minutes, I'm like, no.
It's
no.
just like it's these single static shot conversations, just
Yeah.
like this, right? With like no like coverage, just like Keanu
Yep.
Reeves and Winona Ryder just sitting there, and then they're just taught like this really horrible overwritten dialogue that's just like, that person sucks. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Not
and
as much
so
as
do
you suck.
And
you
I
suck.
hate everything. And this microphone is disgusting. And it's just like for 40 minutes, they're just talking about how they hate
Oh my
life. I'm like,
God.
guys, let's move it on. Like
That sounds like it really sucks.
Just a single static shot of just people sitting around
Complaining about how awful stuff is for 40 minutes. Oh, what's the timer at? 42.
The irony right now. Like,
This is what I'm trying to facilitate.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry. I'm going to like every single movie. This is why it sucks.
Batman versus Superman.
All right, I'm with you there.
You can't ruin Batman for me. It's just it just makes me angry.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns. The animated movie was fine. They didn't need to make a live action version of that.
Yeah.
And worse.
Yeah. Did you see that one, Chance?
I did. It oddly didn't make my top 10.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay.
It was like number 11.
Yeah, right. It's like, sorry, you didn't make the cut.
Yeah. I liked. Yeah. Yeah. That one's bad. Enough words have been spilled over that.
Yeah.
That piece of trash, though.
Yes. You got one, Elliot?
I got one. Oh wait. Oh, this is the one of them that I walked out of in the theater. Anchorman 2. I walked out of it.
Yeah.
I don't. It rubbed me the wrong way. I've only seen the first 20 minutes.
See, I didn't even like Anchorman 1. I
never saw Anchorman 1.
Like,
I don't know why.
You went right into Anchorman 2 without having seen Anchorman.
Well, I'd skipped work, and then I was.
What else am I gonna do?
And then I didn't want to come home and then like be like I skipped work.
So it wasn't so bad that you decided to go back to work.
No, I went to a bar. I'm like, what am I thinking? I can spend money at a bar and then I know that I'm gonna have a good time. It's like guaranteed.
at 2:00 on a Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, actually, no. The 20 minutes of the movie got me right up to noon, so I wasn't an alcoholic.
oh my goodness.
Went at 11:40, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, but no, I walked out. I can't remember what joke it was. I think it was just when they were trying to say that the character was racist, and then so his like comic refrain was just every time he sees a black person, he has to call them black.
Ugh.
That's rough.
I haven't seen the second one. I remember the first
so
one.
basically, when a black person comes on, he's just like black, like that. Sorry, every time I see a black person, I have to say black. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is that funny?
My
I don't get
ex
it.
really liked the Anchorman 1 and 2 and had miserable taste in films.
I really liked the
Terrible
first
person.
one when it came out when I was in high school.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And but I think I don't want to revisit it now because my taste is so different. I don't want my love for it to be ruined.
Yeah.
That's fair. I have movies like that too.
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, I mean, yeah, immature jokes.
Right.
It's very rare that a
Yeah.
comedy movie ages well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Not everything can be Jim Carrey's Dumb and Dumber.
No, it can't.
I mean, obviously.
we can only hope.
All right, you ready? You ready, man?
Yeah, me.
Yeah,
Me
let's
again?
do a
Okay.
couple more.
All right,
A couple more.
Actually, I only have one left. What do you got, Zoe?
Same one.
Oh, I'm trying to stick with Chance. I got two more after
I've
this.
got 6 left.
Well, give us a few.
All right, number 3 on popcorn films is really 2 movies.
Cheating. That's it. You're kicked off.
It's Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh, I didn't think
Ooh, I
about how
forgot
much I
about
hated
those.
Pacific
Yeah.
Rim. I
Oof.
forgot about that.
Yeah, hated Pacific Rim because, again, Guillermo del Toro. Love Guillermo del Toro. I just found it really, really boring and just a lot of talking. And then Pacific Rim Uprising, I went into it with low expectations, and it somehow managed to be worse.
Oh.
This is the sequel to the movie I really don't like.
Yeah.
This is obviously not going to be good.
Yeah, and then it was even worse. And then number 3 for Oscar bait is Phantom Thread.
Ah, dang. I'm not a big Paul Thomas Anderson fan.
Yeah.
but
Did you see Phantom Thread?
yeah. Actually, I tried to watch it with Zoe, and then you said turn it off. And then I turned it off, and then like later I'm like, well, I got to give this a chance.
Yeah,
It's,
no, I
you
think
know.
it made my list too secretly. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
No.
And then so I watched it later, and then
I remember, I think that was the first time I had walked out of a movie theater just livid. I hated it so much. Which
yeah.
is so
It's Daniel
pissed off.
Day-Lewis's final performance too. That
Yeah.
was the last
Ooh.
movie that he's ever in.
Allegedly.
that's
I
why
mean,
we
he's
tried to-
retired a couple times.
Yeah. So hopefully
Oh,
he
I
comes
thought.
back.
Oh, I thought
I
it was
think I'm
like
going to
Rick
start
Moranis.
doing that.
He's
Doing
what?
what?
Retiring.
Retiring.
Are you going to
Maybe
answer
I'll
This
it?
is my
more roles.
final film.
This is my final podcast.
That's how I'll go into auditions. I'll just be like, I want you to know this is my final project.
And for the
For the
last
week.
time, everyone, Zoe Kelly.
I got this acting thing down pat.
All right. You ready?
All right.
Are you-
I'll do my number. Are we going to save the number 2s? Or
Yeah.
you only have one left?
I have one left.
Oh no,
one
you
left.
gotta go. You gotta do number
Okay.
2s.
All right.
Yeah.
Number
I got,
2.
Yeah, we'll go you and then me, and then we'll do ones all around.
Yes.
Number 2. Okay. One's all around.
We'll do a couple twos, and we'll do some ones.
Number 2 popcorn film, Serenity. Not the Firefly film that came out before this decade.
Oh, I think I
but,
saw that. Who's in it?
with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway.
I didn't
it's
see
like
it.
it's jogging. It's
It
bouncing
was-
around somewhere in my brain. I forgot about it though.
It was an absolute garbage fire. There was no cohesive story, and the plot twist was they were all in a video game.
Oh, never mind.
Oof.
I would have remembered that.
Yeah,
They're all in a video game?
it was a video
Well, because
game.
it corresponds to my real life.
So Matthew McConaughey
Yes.
in the video game was designed to look like this boy who designed the video game to look like his father, and the whole point of him making this video game was so that the boy could pluck up the courage to kill his stepfather.
Ooh.
What?
Dang.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even.
I mean,
Yep.
write that down.
Yep.
I'm giving you a bunch of money to make that.
This will be a winner
It was
for
in
sure.
fact so bad that the production team decided to not put any money into marketing.
Oof.
Sweet.
They were like, nobody's gonna like this. Let's not have you guys go on like let's
Cut
not
our
have to talk about
losses.
it. Yeah.
All right.
Number
Oh.
2 for Oscar bait films, The House That Jack Built.
That's the Lars von Trier one, right? I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
I love Lars von Trier though.
It
You
was.
don't like him?
I'm lukewarm on Lars.
No, okay.
I think the only one of his films that I've liked was Melancholia.
I love that movie though.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I turned off Nymphomaniac.
I like the first half of Nymphomaniac.
I got to the point I don't even remember, but I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'm not gonna do this. But I forced myself to watch The House That Jack Built, and it was just a serial killer waxing philosophical with death for like 3 hours.
Oh, good. That sounds so
That's cool.
entertaining.
Oh, speaking of pretentious movies that you
Yeah.
might like though, did you ever see Lars von Trier's Dogville?
No.
That's one of my favorite movies ever. That's a 3-hour movie that I can maybe
All
you can
right.
get behind.
All right, maybe
Buckle up.
I'll try to give it a try.
I mean, if you're watching all these 3-hour movies that you end up hating,
Right.
like, there's got to be one eventually. That hits you. You're like,
How many orcs are in it?
There's, I don't know. We'll find out. I don't want to give
No
anything
spoilers.
away. Yeah.
All
Do you
right,
want to do your
Elliot.
number 2, Elliot?
Oh, my number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, movie 43.
I
I
did
didn't
not
see
see that,
that.
but I heard it was.
It's it's basically just it's like 2 hours of skits, like SNL style skits.
Ooh.
And every single one is really, really bad. Like each
Did you
one is.
watch the whole thing?
Actually, no, I didn't quite make it through the
Okay.
whole thing. I made it like halfway through though, because every time it's like a 5-minute skit. So you're
Yeah.
like, well, maybe the next one will
Maybe
be
the
okay.
next one will be good.
And then you're like, eventually, like
That's
I'm
their
gonna
whole
hit
gimmick.
I think like the director like blackmailed all of the actors to be in that movie.
Yeah, the first one. So the first
What?
skit. So
Yeah.
the first skit is Kate Winslet, and you're like, oh wow, Kate Winslet. And then you see like Hugh Jackman, and then the whole joke is that he has testicles on his chin.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Like legitimately, he like blackmailed them to be in the movie.
No,
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the first skit. So that's the type of comedy it is, and then just the rest of it is just like
It's just downhill from there.
no.
Well,
It's just
he
like
didn't-
basically the jokes are all just like you have testicles on your chin,
I mean,
and
literally,
he's just like doing stuff, and then it's like no, don't scratch your chin. There's testicles
he
there.
clearly didn't have enough time to write anything because he was too busy blackmailing these poor actors.
Well, and like, why
That
would
would
he?
make a
Why
good
would he
movie.
scratch his chin? Like he knows he has testicles on his chin. He's had testicles on his chin his whole life. Why would he scratch them?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they itch.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I guess.
I think this
I
is
can't
this is
weigh in
pretty
on
solid
this
premise.
conversation. I didn't know that you didn't itch them. I guess I don't know.
Oh man.
All right, are we doing
should
number ones?
Should we
Number ones.
do ones?
Okay.
I think our guest should be last.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should do. Yeah, you seem
Do you
to be more of an expert in general. All right.
Number one worst film of the decade was a 2010, and it's called a Serbian film. It was also made in Serbia. Have you seen this?
I have not seen it.
Please
but
never watch
I
it.
Heard about it.
No, don't watch
and
it.
it's going to be one that I'm going to avoid.
Please never. Literally, if you're listening right now, it scarred me for life. It literally changed me, and like I almost didn't put it on the list because I just don't want people to know about it because it's so bad. I'm like, let's just pretend it never happened and just we don't talk about it. So
So we're
We're
done.
just moving on from there.
I mean, I can read the description, but it's just we
Okay.
won't go there. You can
All right.
Google it if you want, but don't.
Okay, a Serbian film.
A Serbian.
That's
film.
what you're gonna type into
2010.
Google. Okay.
So are we going to put it up on the screen? A Serbian film.
Link to the IMDb.
All right, you ready there, Chuck?
Yeah, mine might be a little controversial,
Uh-oh.
but
What?
I really did not like Wonder Woman. I thought it was just so put together exactly how a movie is supposed to be put together and lame.
I never watched
What do
it.
you mean?
Well, it was just a story about like, and then she wasn't even like a superhero because she still needed the dude.
What?
Like it was like this like really it wasn't even I didn't see anything empowering about it.
didn't
I was
watch
just
it.
like but I suppose it would be hard to make an empowering female superhero character when the characters were written by dudes in the 50s.
Yeah. No, I mean you do have a point there, but
But anyway, I
mean-
watched it and I'm like, why do people not talk more about like Jackie Brown or like Kill Bill?
Yes. These
like-
are women I can get behind.
Anyway, so Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I chose not to watch it because I just don't like superhero
I watched
movies.
it. I really liked it, but I see your point.
Right on. Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should probably murder me off camera. Because then it's just witnesses.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Good
All right.
thinking.
I'm doing a controversial one too.
Do it.
Uh-oh.
My number one. I feel like I'm gonna change my mind.
What? No, do it.
But
you
I,
are. You
no, I'm gonna
saddle.
change my mind after I say it out loud, or like later, because I've
Oh,
only
okay.
seen it once, and he's one of my favorite directors. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I really despised. I
Yeah,
disliked it a lot.
That movie let me down too, to be honest. And I'm a Tarantino. I love everything he does, but that one, it just wasn't. She didn't have the spice that I thought that, that his movies usually give to me.
Yeah, but that said, I can probably change my mind at some juncture.
I did only see it once too, though.
Yeah, but
See, and I'm not a Tarantino fan, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Yeah, you liked it?
I still think his best film is Jackie Brown.
yeah, that's my favorite too.
See, I think I love Jackie Brown a lot, but I think Reservoir Dogs, that one like sticks with me. Like I remember parts of that movie all the time. and
I'm
just
all about
think
Kill
it.
Bills. The 2 Kill Bills.
Oh yeah, he
It's
did
been so
Kill
long
Bill
since I've seen
too.
those, but I did really like those two.
I
Yeah.
want to watch that.
Just
right
the
now.
gratuitous violence. Like, I was just like, this is so amazing.
I guess Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had some gratuitous violence in it too.
well, the
It was
Kill
just
Bill made
in love.
sense.
Yeah,
It was
just in
anime.
love with its own
Yeah.
pastiche too much. I didn't really
Yeah.
enjoy that.
I
And then
just-
also like I don't really care about Sharon Tate.
Correct.
And it made me feel like
Yeah.
kind of like a really young person that didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so if like Sharon Tate didn't get murdered in 1969, the whole world would be different. It's like, whatever. That's celebrity horse crap.
That's why
Just
it's called Once Upon a Time.
I know, it's just it's just celebrity worship.
I actually really liked that part. I was just expecting to see Sharon Tate get murdered, and then nope, we got a flamethrower in the pool.
Yeah. I mean, the reversal was cool,
Yeah.
I guess. But I mean, I just assumed because it was Quentin Tarantino and he like already killed Hitler.
Right?
in
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards. I'm like, oh, he's gonna do
That's
like
true.
a reverse
I
at
feel
the
like
end.
I also really love Inglourious Bastards.
No, I love that movie too.
Um,
and then maybe I'll love Once Upon a Time. But for now, I just wanted to.
I just, for what I expect when I go to his movies, it just didn't hit the mark for me. Like as a movie in general, it was good, but like I feel like he has set his own bar so high that they're not all going to be tens.
I think part of it is just like he went for a day in the life
Right.
approach,
Yeah.
and then I feel like his filmmaking style isn't conducive towards that because
Yeah.
he's
No.
primarily like almost a Hitchcockian suspense director,
Right.
where all of his setups and takedowns are always building up to either some sort of joke or some sort of explosion to violence.
Well-
and when the actual script is just like people hanging out, it's almost like Linklater does that better because he doesn't try to presuppose like anything
Yeah.
through the style.
Right.
Where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen next?
Exactly,
Yeah.
because Quentin Tarantino's style is separated from reality.
Yeah, so much.
And I know that it was the story was inherently, but not in the way that he normally does.
Yeah, it's just more like you're just hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt for like a few hours, and then
Yeah.
at the end, Sharon Tate doesn't die.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Wah, wah.
I think we have to title this whole video "Spoiler Alert"
Yeah.
Right.
of all the movies ever.
All the movies
right.
in the last 10 years.
I'm ready for your final picks, man.
All right, my number one worst popcorn film of the decade, The Last Airbender.
Oh. I
Oh.
watched part of it. It was so dark, and then like I was supposed to put on some 3D glasses or something at some juncture, and it was just atrocious.
It's just a god awful, just abomination of cinema, and it should be stricken from history. It should be burned
Yeah.
alive.
So I watched the cartoon growing up.
Yeah, I loved the show,
Yeah.
and then I was like, and I think at this point when this movie came out, I still liked Shyamalan, and then I watched this and I was like, what the hell was this?
Oh, I quit watching Shyamalan movies ever since he did the one where they're all in the little town.
Oh, and then they
The
just get out,
Village.
and then it's
The Village,
and then it's
yeah.
just like the future, or it's just
Yeah.
the present. They're like,
See, I even like The Village.
Yeah, I like The Village too. You know what? Like, I really
The
enjoy
more people I
that.
encounter that talk about Shyamalan, they're like, I hate The Village. I was like, oh, but I love The Village.
Yeah, I was in
I guess
it.
I was expecting. I'm like, it must not be the time or something early on in the film because I'm like, there's gonna be a twist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because
that's a
he'd already like done that.
Yeah,
That was like
a
his third like twist movie. Like,
Right.
ooh,
You're like,
something's
what's the
coming.
twist? And then it's like, oh, they're just in present day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number one worst Oscar bait film of the decade, Under the Silver Lake.
Ah man, I was gonna watch that later.
Don't.
Okay.
Just don't. It's 2.5 hours of Andrew Garfield being a conspiracy theorist and then masturbating.
Oh sweet.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Sounds like my life.
It's just like there's nothing happens. There's like dogs barking at him and like women barking at him as dogs,
What?
and it's just it literally took me 3 months to watch this film.
Oh, you're watching like 20-minute segments and like turning it off.
I was like, I can't. I was so pissed off. I just couldn't. I had to turn it off. I was like, no,
Why were you so
know
committed?
because I have to watch. I have to just complete every film.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't count as me having seen it.
yeah.
Mm.
So I force myself, and it's just, I hate it.
You know what movie I cannot believe I didn't put on my list and I'm unofficially putting back in right now?
Ah, sorry, too late.
Nope, it's happening. Hard to Be a God.
Oh, I forgot about that too.
God.
That's the Russian one.
It's a
that
Russian foreign film. I have no idea what year it was made. No, it was made in 2015.
No, but it was shot over like many years. It was shot over a decade, and it was like
is
crazy.
garbage. So my English professor said,
So it's the Russian Boyhood.
"Oh,
No. You can watch it on Amazon. Check it out.
yeah."
I don't know if I watch
No,
it.
Tell me
definitely
how many
do.
months it takes you to finish it.
Because I got 15 points extra credit
And it
for
took
a
you, like,
class,
4
and
weeks.
It took me like 4 weeks to watch. And at the end, I just ended up getting really wine drunk and being like, "Let's do this. We got it," and taking notes.
See,
Yeah.
I was even really wine drunk every time I tried to watch Under the Silver Lake, and I just could. I was just so lit. I was like, this is the worst film that has ever been made, and I hope it gets all the Razzies.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll watch this one if you watch Hard to Be a
All right,
God.
deal.
And then we can
Oh,
share
man.
war stories.
Look, how far did you get through it today?
7 minutes. That's all I could do.
I only made it through 3.
All right.
Nice.
Are we ready to wrap it up with a joke from a
we
hat?
should wrap it up. Chance, would you like to read our joke from a hat as our
Sure.
guest?
All right, here
Yeah.
it comes.
All right. All right.
Take a joke from a hat. When you read it, I'll bet that you make someone laugh. It's a joke from a hat.
This week's hat is a hand crocheted hat.
Is that wool?
I think it's just yarn.
Oh, okay.
It's just yarn.
I don't know if it's
All
wool
right.
yarn.
Why was the graduation cap charged with indecent exposure at an Idaho strip club?
Why?
It only had one tassel.
Ooh. You can't do that in Idaho. It's against the rules. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on Treasure Valley Podcast. Be sure to visit www.lowergentrystudios.com to check out back episodes of this podcast, as well as our web series Canyon County, our feature film We Speak, and our other feature film Brown Truck. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you, Chance.
Thank you.